Hi everyone, Dark Swordsman here, and today I'm going to show you how to drive stick. If you're watching this video, I'm assuming either you haven't driven a car yet, you already drive an automatic, or maybe you kind of drive manual but you want to make your skills a little bit better. The point of this video is obviously to teach you how to drive stick. I know there's a lot of other videos on YouTube of people showing you how to drive stick, and they're all good and all, but from the ones I've seen, they're good, but I personally think that there could be another point of view on it. Everyone drives stick differently, they all have their own techniques. And today I'm going to show you how I drive stick and how I would try to teach someone to drive stick. Just a little note before this video starts, please don't be weary of this. Driving manual is a lot easier than you think. You just need to spend a little bit of time understanding what you're working with and how to do it. And then you just need to practice. It's really not that hard. And with enough practice, you can be able to do it. I personally think that driving a manual is a good skill because not all cars are automatic. And honestly, if you don't have a lot of money and you can repair your own car, usually having a manual car is a lot easier to work on than an automatic. So before you start driving, obviously you need to get acquainted with what you're working with. So first of all, you have 3 pedals. You have the gas, brake, and clutch. If there's a 4th pedal, it's probably a dead pedal all the way on the left. That's where you rest your foot. And then you have the gear shift knob in the middle, which lets you select what gear you want. And then you have your wheel, obviously. Now before I actually show you how to do it, I'm going to briefly describe what it actually does, because knowing what it actually does will really help you drive better. It'll allow you to easily understand what you need to do in order to get the car running properly. So basically your clutch pedal engages the clutch, which is between the engine and transmission. All you really need to know is that it's 3 plates. The middle one connects to the transmission, the 2 outer ones connect to the engine, and basically these can engage and disengage at different levels to allow you to get going. When they're fully sandwiched together, it's completely engaged, and the engine is with the rest of the drivetrain that lets you go. And then when it's disengaged, you won't be moving anywhere. So to disengage the clutch, you press it down, and then when you let off of it, it's automatically engaged. But the clutch doesn't really work like that. It's not an on and off switch, and when you let go of it, it's just not going to smoothly start going. You have to actually modulate it. There's usually a little bit of a slipping point in the middle that you have to work with and find while you drive the car. And I'll go over that in a minute. And that's pretty much it for what you really need to know with the actual transmission, so I'll get right into it. So before you actually start the car, you want to make sure it's in neutral, which is like this. The gear shift knob, for example, in my Miata, I have 5 gears and then a reverse. You can, if you want, you can sit here and go through the gears a little bit and feel where they are. One major thing, you don't want to shift in the reverse while you're driving because it's very bad, and usually cars don't really let you do that because of the way they're designed. So just shift through the gears, kind of feel where they are, know where 1 through 5 are, because usually you go through it sequentially, so 1 through 5 in order. And just get used to that for a minute. And then once you feel a little bit comfortable with where they are, you can start going to the next step, which is starting the car. When you actually start the car, you want to make sure it's in neutral. You can check this by pushing the knob left or right. Usually when you're in gear, you can't move it left or right that much. It'll be very different from when it's in neutral. If your car, or if your shift knob wiggles as much as in neutral as it does when it's in gear, then you really need to fix your car. But you'll feel when it's in neutral, and that way when you start the car and you let go of the clutch, it doesn't go anywhere. Now depending on your car, my e-brake doesn't work, so I just leave it down all the time. So usually what I do is I press on the brake while I'm starting my car. And most cars have a clutch lockout, so basically you have to press the clutch pedal in when you start the car. So what you're going to do next is start it like a normal car, but except just pushing the clutch when you do it. And then once the car is started, you can let go of the clutch, and then it'll just sit here and do nothing. If you want, what I suggest is to modulate the throttle a little bit, very lightly, just so you can feel where it is. Try to hold it at certain points. Usually with manual cars, the gas is very, very sensitive, and you can't just easily slam on it and it won't go anywhere. So just tap the gas pedal and kind of feel where everything is. Usually when you start off, you want it around 1500 RPM. Okay, so now you know where the gears are, and now you know how to start the car in neutral. Now we need to know how to actually get the car moving. First of all, put your seatbelt on. And now what you're going to do, make sure you're neutral again, just double check. Obviously if you're in neutral, your car's probably not going anywhere. Then what you're going to do to start the car going, you're going to push the clutch all the way down, put it in first gear, and then from here, this is the tricky part. Usually with most cars, you don't even need to press the throttle to get it going. You just need to pull out the clutch. Now what you're going to do is when you pull out this clutch, you're going to pull it out very slowly. And then what you'll notice is at a certain point, your car will start to move. At this point, don't freak out. You're doing great, first of all. What you need to do is you need to let the car roll and speed up a little bit before you pull it all the way out. This is that slipping point I was talking about. You have to allow the car to speed up to the speed of the engine so that way it doesn't bog out and die when you start to go. So what you're going to do is put it, when you have it in first and you have the clutch in, you're going to slowly let out the clutch until the car starts moving. You'll hear the engine start to go down. And then you start moving. And then once you start moving and you're going at decent speed, you can let go of the clutch completely and then very lightly press on the gas. And now you're moving. Now what do you do next? Now you have to shift gears usually. You'll notice your RPMs. You can also hear the car. This is something you'll kind of feel. But to shift gears, it's the same kind of thing. A good rule of thumb is anytime you are moving the gear shift knob, you want to press in the clutch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift from first gear into second gear. If I go around this turn. So I'm going to speed up a little bit, very lightly press on the gas, let off the gas, press the clutch in, pull it down in the second gear, and then let out the clutch slowly. So now you're in second gear and you're coming up to a turn or whatever. I'm going slow enough where it doesn't matter. But say you need to stop. Don't just press the brake, because that's not what you're supposed to do. If you know you are going to come to a complete stop, push the clutch in, put the car in neutral, let go of the clutch, and then slowly press the brake to come to a stop, and then that's it. And then to get going again, do it like you did before, put it in first. This time, try to put a little bit of gas, just to raise the engine a little bit. Then you slowly let out the clutch. Once it starts moving, don't move your clutch foot. And then once it gets to a little bit of a speed, you can let go of the clutch and then start going. And then you can shift in the second again. And basically what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be repeating this over and over again, so that way you can slowly get into the habit of what you need to do. Alright, so now you're able to shift gears and you're able to start get the car moving. The next step is downshifting. Downshifting you usually use if you know you're slowing down but you're not coming to a complete stop. So for example, say you need to slow down to go around a corner, what you would need to do is to shift down through the gears. So instead of going up like 1, 2, 3, you would be going down 3, 2, 1. So first example, I'll get going again, press the accelerator, slowly let out the clutch until it starts moving. Don't move your foot until it gets going, and then let go of the clutch. Move into second gear. And before I continue this, a major thing, you never usually want to shift in the first gear unless it's absolutely necessary. Usually you only do this, or I'm sorry, downshift in the first gear, because you usually don't need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up in the third gear, clutch in, gear shift change, clutch out. Now I'm coming to a turn where I need to slow down. What you're going to do is push in the clutch, put it in a second, and then tap the gas, and then let go of the clutch. Now you're probably wondering what tapping the gas is doing. When you're tapping the gas, you're speeding up the RPM of the engine, so that way the rest of your transmission can match up with it, and you don't have a crazy, like, clunky transition. So let me go around this corner. Alright, so now I'm going to go in the third gear, and I'll show you what happens when you don't press the clutch, or when you don't tap the accelerator. So you push in the clutch, you put it in second, you don't touch the accelerator, you pull out normally. What you'll notice is the car lurches forward a bit when, like, it pulls you forward because the car is slowing down. You can do this, but it's really not recommended, because what it does is it wears down that main disc that I was talking about a little bit more, as well as the outer discs, and it doesn't allow your transmission and clutch and whatnot to last as long. So practice this again, just keep going with it. I'll show you one more time. So get up the speed, shift up into third, clutch in, put it in third, let go of the clutch, press the gas again. Come up to a turn, I push the clutch in, put it in second, tap the gas, let go of the clutch, and press the brake. Now it sounds like a lot, I know. It really does sound like a lot. But if you give yourself a big enough parking lot, it won't be that difficult. And all you gotta do, you gotta make sure you're not scared of what you're doing. It's really not that hard. You can't really break a car that easy. And that's pretty much it. Those are my main tips. One last thing I will talk about is heel toe. You probably have heard this term. So heel toeing is something you can use, and I think is useful. But more often than not, it's a skill that you learn after you can easily drive the car on the actual road. So here I'm pulling out to an actual road. So I'm going to start going like I normally do. So now I just shifted down in the fourth gear. And like I said before, sometimes you need to downshift before a corner, but sometimes you may need to do it quicker. So what you can do is put your foot on the brake and use your heel by turning your foot to the right, your heel out to the right. So I'm sorry, you like turn your foot counterclockwise to the left, and you tap the gas with your heel like you would when you were normally downshifting. So your normal downshift, like this, you hold down the brake slightly, and you tap the gas. So I'm gonna get going again. Okay, let's say I need to slow down. I'll do it one more time. Slowly press on the gas and tap the gas with your heel. So you're doing a normal downshift, but you're also pressing the brake at the same time. So I hope this video helped. This is the best way I can explain it. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment in the comments below. Also, like I might have mentioned before, I'm not sure if I did, I'll put the links in the description to other videos of how to drive stick, so that way you can get another point of view on how to do it. I know my solution is definitely not the end-all be-all of how to drive stick, and I really suggest that you watch other videos as well, so that we can get a better knowledge of what to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like it, please like it. If you didn't like it, then you can smash that down like button. I really don't care. And I'll see you in the next one.